All right, JD, a little players only right now. And we got a guy who's probably called a few of these close the door, kick the coaches out meetings. These aren't fun, right? How'd you know as Mark Giordano? How'd you know when to call these?
Well, most of the time it was pretty obvious when things weren't going too well and you needed the boys just to hash things out on their own. So it was pretty obvious. I thought they were important and needed at least a few times during the season, but you also don't want to go the other way and like do too many.
Too many.
Because then it gets old.
Yeah.
Right? Guys are like,
Stop.
come on, we need another players only meeting. So,
well, this one will be more fun, a little more laid back here. Yeah. And so, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get to know you a little bit more. I mean, the one thing that stood out to me is you as a player is like, you probably get sick of it, but just undrafted to winning a Norris Trophy. Like that to me, I get goosebumps just saying those words because like we know all of us have been through the grind and what that path feels like. I mean, can you take us through just, your belief in kind of building along the way?
Yeah, well, I will say, like, when I was younger, I played Tier 2 hockey until I was, like, 18 years old. So I didn't have, like, that typical career growing up. And I was never, obviously, the best player. Like, a lot of guys, you're never the best player on your team and stuff like that. But I will say, as I got older and I got more confident, I did start to believe more in myself. And it probably started around junior when I played in Owen Sound for a couple of years. And then came back and played pro for a bunch of years, 2 years in the American League. But I would say up until I was like 25, 26, I did not have that belief in myself. And it just came with confidence and reps, I think.
Now take me through I want to touch, because you go from that, you come through as a young kid. The year you won the Norris, like what changed for you? And like, when did you kind of realize that like, I'm having this unreal season and like everything's working? Was it just off-season stuff, or was it just like a belief mentally that kind of just grew as you went through the league?
So when I was like 27, 28, I really changed my workout regimen in the off-season. You guys know, like back in the day, we used to do power cleans, squats, heavy lifts.
Heavy weights.
Like you were just lifting like a weightlifter, like seriously. And I really did a lot of workouts on my own. So I made an investment in myself and got a trainer and all that stuff. So I think the off-ice stuff was one thing that helped me. And then again, like the on ice too, like I think I was 33 or 34. I was having a really good season, probably comparable to my Norris year. And I got hurt in Jersey in the last shift of a game. I blew my bicep tendon, and it was about 60 games into the season. And so that season there, that's where I really came into my own. I think I was 33 or 34 years old at the time. And that's where the belief starts at that point. And then you're like, I can play with all the top guys in the league. I can compete with these guys. And then at 36, when I think I won it, our team was good. We finally had a team that was a first-place team. We had Matthew Tkachuk, Sean Monahan, Johnny Guja. We had all these young guys coming into their own, and our power play was running hot. So you get those secondary assists. You know how it is, right? You get those secondary assists. You get all of a sudden in the start of the game, you get 2 points and you barely touch the puck and you're like, okay, here we go. And it just felt like one of those years where everything fell into place.
No, I mean, just even that success that you had out there on those teams, and then Calgary, I mean, to be a leader, and we kind of said that off the top, even just being the captain. I mean, you played with Jerome. Like, was he a guy, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Was he the guy? Was there other guys that kind of showed you what it was like to lead?
Well, Jerome was the guy, but we also had Robin Regeer and Rhett Warner, two defensemen who I really looked up to, and they were really the glue guys in the room. Like, they brought the group together on and off the ice all the time. So I learned a lot from all those guys. And the thing that made the transition for me the easiest, following Iggy as captain, was like, as a player, you're not going to live up to those. Like, you're not going to be Jerome McGinley.
Right.
We played different positions, but I took so much from him, like the way he treated people off the ice and the way he, the way he acted towards training staff, towards rink attendants, towards everyone in the organization. So that's what I took from him. And also, I took how competitive he was. He was like, it didn't matter, hockey, on the plane, playing cards, playing video games
wanted
with
to win
Conroy
everything,
in the
yeah.
dressing room, like, or in the hotels. Like, he was the most competitive guy, and it didn't matter which game, didn't matter which situation, and I took a lot from him for sure.
Funny thing, you mentioned Robin Regeer. That was my draft year in '98, and I remember I was kind of tailing him on our meetings with teams prior to the draft. And there's like 3 teams in particular where he was going in the room, he'd come out from the meeting or the interview, and I'd go into the room, and each one of these meetings said that was the best interview I've ever had. So with that guy, I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, it's some big pressure. But like, what was it about him? Because I think a lot of it wasn't necessarily, I would say, a household name in the States.
Yeah.
Like maybe some people, but he could play, and he was a great leader as well, like you said.
Yeah, and he studied the game. He knew the game so well. He was like a high hockey IQ guy. He watched a lot of video, studied like different players' tendencies, and he was mean out there.
Yeah, he was nasty.
He was nasty to play against. And again, another guy who doesn't get enough credit for being ultra competitive out there. And he was on that Team Canada. What was it called before the Four Nations when they played at the ACC? They had that tournament. He was on that team and a big part of that.
The World Cup?
World Cup, yes,
of hockey.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of that team. And I take a lot of Reggie. I took a lot from Reggie, both on and off the ice. Still talk to him to this day. Like, he's a great guy and very intelligent. Very
Well, tell him
intelligent.
thanks for ruining all my interviews.
Yeah. I mean, but what's one thing, if you could narrow it down, like as a young kid coming into the league, what's one thing like you heard that was said to you from one of these veterans and leaders that you took when you became captain?
It was just more about like playing with confidence no matter what. It was so hard to do at the start. No matter what they said, I didn't have it at the start, but
Yeah.
it was just like, forget about that last play. You know, the coach is going to say a lot of things to you. You have to learn how to deal with the coaches. Like, you know, if a coach screams and yells at you or gives you advice, like, they're doing it for your own good. And it's sometimes as a young guy, you think people are out to get you, and they're not. No one's out to get you. I think most coaches, most people in the organization really care about their prospects and their players. And but yeah, you know, Daryl Sutter used to always say to me, it takes 300 games for an NHL defenseman to become to know the game and know not to run around, not to make bad reads in your own zone. And I used to always be like, come on, Daryl, like, give me a break. I want to play more.
300? I'm at 100.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a break, Daryl.
Like, I'm never going to get there. When am I going to get there?
Exactly.
And now looking back, he was right. Like, he was right. It takes a while for you to, and I think in the league, like, the biggest thing as a defenseman for me is reads in your own zone, when to run. Like, as a young guy, you want to run around and hit everything. You take a lot of penalties and stuff like that. And then studying the opposition, like, you need to know guys' tendencies in the NHL. They're that good. You need to know where they release the puck from on their shots, on the power play, who's the best skaters, who are the best, like, what,
who's going to burn you?
who's going to cut in this way. Like, certain guys always cut in a certain way. Certain guys want to go wide. So the little things like that are really important.
So I've watched you on this side of it now doing TV. You've been getting your reps in this and doing great with this. But, you know, from this side, you played with a lot of these guys. I mean, you recently been done playing. So I wanted to look at, like, a Sam Bennett and a Matthew Tkachuk. You had them both there in Calgary. And maybe you can unpack both of them one at a time, because they're very unique in different ways. Like, Sam Bennett, high pick, you know, got to a point where maybe it was depth guy, sometimes wasn't playing very much. Now, like, are you surprised at what he's doing right now in Florida, or the last couple of years?
I'm not surprised, but it took him a while to understand. Like, Benny he came in and right from day one, you saw the skill. He had the talent. He was unbelievable skater.
Was he mean then? I don't remember him being, like, mean.
A switch flipped at one point where, like, he had it, and everybody used to say he was sneaky tough.
So his 18-year-old year, his first year, he played in playoffs with us, and he was one of our best players in playoffs, skill-wise. Not as much in the physical department, but him and Michael Ferland, we played Vancouver in playoffs, and they were both really effective. And I will say Benny, so the biggest change for me in Sam Bennett was he was so good in junior that he was able to get away with the one-on-one game, beating guys one-on-one, skating around defensemen. And then when you get to the NHL, that's not going to happen. And the biggest change in his game is he's learned to play the give-and-go game. And now if you watch him out there with Tkachuk, with Verhaeghe, these guys on his line, they're so good at reading off each other and give-and-go passes all over the ice. And then he creates space for himself and gets that speed going that he has. But yeah, he's nails, man. You look at him and you're like, he's not that big of a guy.
We interviewed him last year at the finals, and he was so soft-spoken. Like, really, this is the guy I'm seeing just destroy people on the ice.
And he sees red out there.
That's
Like
what I
when
mean.
he
Yeah, he
sees
gets the
red,
1,000-yard
he
stare.
he's out hitting to hurt, and he's not afraid to fight anyone. So yeah, it's been great watching him. And then Chucky.
I remember my biggest thing. Remember the Chucky Doughty thing.
Yeah, but
Feud.
That was
Bennett-
from right away.
But wasn't Bennett like Bennett was like subdued to like kind of on the edge, and now Tkachuk was out of control and he's reeled it in.
So he's become really good at still being an agitator,
Yeah.
but doing it at the perfect times now,
Yeah.
and not taking penalties, getting under guys' skin. You know what? I sat beside him in the dressing room for all his years that I was there in Calgary, and we had some he's just great dialogue in the dressing room and intermissions, but he is so sneaky good around the net. Like, his touches are unbelievable. And for a guy who, and he won't mind me saying this, for a guy who doesn't skate well,
He stinks at skating.
he makes such great hockey IQ plays all over the ice. You know what they don't give him enough credit for is in his own zone on the wall, on the rims and stuff coming up the wall, he always makes the right play and the right decision. He hits his centerman, he'll hit the far guy, he'll hit the weak side D, but man, that Drew Doughty thing, he got in Doughty's kitchen there for a little bit in LA. I was part of that. And then remember the Cassian one too when he was
Well, that was
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
and but then he's like reeled it in, and I mean, to your point, his hockey IQ is through the roof. And you know, I could sit here and talk to you all day about being in Seattle and Toronto, but I wanted to ask you like what it meant to you. I know Markador Vlasic's now taking the all-time shot blocking lead, but what it meant to sacrifice your body like that, because you were like the epitome of like you'd get points, but first and foremost, everybody knew like you're going in to play Mark Giordano. He's sacrificing himself physically. You got to earn every inch. So what does it mean to be on this list with some of these just incredible defensemen?
Yeah, well, first off, if you look at the list, I think all good offensive D-men at one point in their career who can move the puck and make plays. But I think the more important thing is guys who play in all situations, and that's what I take the most pride in. You play in all situations. I always thought like if you want to play against the best players in the league, you got to play well defensively, or you have no chance. Like they'll just eat you up. So. Yeah, I took a lot of pride. And then the shot blocking thing, I think with the penalty kill and all that stuff coming into play, I just think it was like something I took I took a lot of pride.
That's going to be the most memorable one there.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think as a teammate, like when you look at a guy on your team and he's blocking shots, when I looked at guys sacrificing themselves, it's like what other way can you tell your teammates that you want to win badly than that, right? Like sacrificing your body.
The boys fired up on the bench, right?
And I mean, some people would say, well, you're defending too much, you're in your own zone too much, that's why you're blocking. But
ain't scoring though.
I took a lot of pride in it, and I think defensemen, that should be a big part of your game. Is like there's a lot of situations where you can stop that puck from getting to the net.
It's an art. It's an art, especially when you do it that much. We're going to move on to what were you thinking. We're going to show you a couple things maybe from your career, and you want to know what you're maybe thinking in these moments. But I remember this. That was a crazy time in Nashville.
What a fun All-Star game. That's the best All-Star game. I think that was the first time we went to the 3-on-3 format.
Yeah.
I remember John Scott. He got voted in by the fans, and there was all, is he going to go? Isn't he going to go? We loved it. And he ended up, it was funny, first shift of the game, I think, he scored a goal, and the boys were on, I think this is it here. The boys were all up on the bench just loving it.
How about, who's that Duchesne back-checking? What's he back-checking so hard for? Jeez.
Like, you could see the boys just pumped for him, right? I mean, he took a lot of heat for going. But that was a fun time, and there we are lifting them up.
They changed the rules for the All-Star game because that, right?
I got voted in like he did.
You would have gone for sure.
If they voted me in right now, I'd.
We got to you were tough blocking shots, but you're also scrappy in other ways too, and kind of want to know. You've probably run into. What do we got? We got your fight here.
Oh my God,
Evan.
So I slew-footed him right before this play, and he sort of gave me the look, and I'm like, oh God, I know, and I knew he was tough.
Yeah.
There it is. Like,
A little one, eh?
He sort of gave me the look.
That's a sneaky one.
So he comes at me. You could tell he's pissed, and I'm like, oh God. But I said, I'll never forget. He came Bieksa came up to me after this fight, and he goes, he gave me a tap on the shin pads the next period. And I looked at him, I didn't know, and I'm like, what did you hit me with there? And he's like, I gave you a little fake and got you. He cut me for 6 stitches over my left eyebrow. And I lost all the feeling in my head for about 6 months because he cut a nerve in my over my
It didn't even
eyebrow.
look like he got you there.
But he cut me
He's
open.
so
He
sneaky.
gave me the old fake and hit me with a left and got me pretty good. Or hit me with a right. Sorry, fake left, hit me with a right and cut me pretty good. I lost all feeling and my head was numb for about 6
Little
months.
2 pieces of soda.
Yeah, hey, BX could chuck him.
Yeah.
we see
Yeah,
that.
he's-
We got. I just want to talk some trash, actually, because Team USA winning the World Championships.
geez.
Two Canadians here, but cool moment, and in this one too with Johnny Hockey's jersey there, and maybe you just touch on him.
It's so classy.
Yeah.
I love the fact USA Hockey. So
You know what? I was covering this and I saw this live and was so happy. I'm just so happy for that they carried on his legacy. I think the all-time leading scorer in U.S. World Championship history. It's just unbelievable person. He was one of my best friends in Calgary. Obviously, playing with him for 7 or 8 years. I don't even know what it was, but I know Jane and Guy, his parents, would be so proud of that moment. So I was happy for them to see the USA won, even though Canada went down earlier in the tournament, and I was rooting for them down the stretch.
you always had his back as a teammate too. This scumbag tried to take him down and started a brawl against you. You remember this? Do we have it?
Let's see it.
Do you remember this one?
I do not, but
Oh, watch JD come in here.
I'm
Just
going after him.
He slew puts Johnny. What are you doing, man? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sneaky.
And then you guys got tangled up.
He got me back though, the little bugger.
Oh, a little cross-check from Johnny.
I tried to sell it, but then he gave
Oh, another one.
And then what? You guys ended up getting mixed up in this scrum
We
here.
did.
Can we go at it here, JD?
Well, I'll tell the story after. There you are. And then I'm like, well, what do I got going on? And then I said, okay, let me get in here.
Oh, man.
And I said, I said, wait a minute, the ref's got a piece of Mark Giordano. I have a chance.
Oh, you took it down. The takedown.
the ref took you down, and I remember being on top, and I was like, listen, I'm looking at you staring at me. You're like, I'm gonna destroy you if you touch me. And I was like, hey, just no, be nice. Be nice after. But it was, I mean, we had some good battles with it, Calgary was one of the rare teams that we played well against. So
Before you came in, he's like, I had him down there, and I was just like, he's gonna kill me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if I
struck
punched
the
him,
spirit.
I was like, if I
You had a
punched
free
him,
shot. You should have took it.
I wouldn't have made it out of that game, I don't think. Hey, I'll take Johnny.
All right. Well, hey, dude, we appreciate you swinging by here, and you're going to be on NHL tonight, and back here with us on NHL Now tomorrow, I believe. So,
Yes.
all right.